to be shared. But in any case, it's fine. It's no problem.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. So in the context of the twin transformation and the recovery from the COVID crisis, the social economy can play an important role in our inclusive and fair, sustainable recovery. And the political momentum for social economy in the EU is very high at the moment. Since the entry into office of the current President Ursula von der Leyen's Commission, some 20 different Commission initiatives have made reference to social economy. And social economy is also an important actor in the implementation of the European Pillar for Social Rights. And just to give you an overview of the EU agenda in this field of social economy up to now, there was, you are probably aware of the 2011 Social Business Initiative, which focused mainly on social enterprises. And its main goals were to improve access to finance, improve the visibility, and improve the regulatory environment. And in this field, there was already the feedback we have received from stakeholders is that it did make a big change, especially with regard to access to finance. What comes to regulatory environment, we learned that some 16 member states introduced social enterprise strategies since this 2011 initiative. If I'm not mistaken, Denmark also introduced one in 2014. And since then, there was also the Startup and Scale Up initiative, which focused on access to finance and access to markets and framework conditions, and international agenda and new technologies as well. And now, 10 years after the Social Business Initiative, we are preparing the action plan for social economy. So just to talk a bit about the context again. So in the scope of the action plan are not only social enterprises, but also other types of social economy organizations. So associations, cooperatives, mutuals, and foundations. And as I mentioned, the context is indeed the crisis and the transformation of the economy. And when people hear about the social economy, they most often think of its role in facilitating inclusion or reducing inequalities. But it's very important also to recognize the contribution of social economy to the European economic growth. For instance, it's currently estimated that the social economy in Europe represents some 2.8 million entities and enterprises and over 13.6 million jobs. That's some 6.3% of the working population. But there are very big variations across countries. The paid employment in the social economy varies between 0.6% and 9.9% among member states. And this indicates to us that obviously in those member states where the social economy is much smaller, there is plenty of potential to tap into this, the potential that social economy could do in order to promote sustainable growth and social inclusion and so on. What brings all social economy organizations together, regardless of the type of organization that they are, is their commitment to put people and the planet first. And this is really the why Commission is now putting forward the Social Economy Action Plan. The publication is currently foreseen for December this year. So next month, it's expecting to come out. So with this action plan, the Commission wants to put forward concrete measures to help mobilize the full potential of the social economy. And first of all, this requires to create the right conditions for the social economy to thrive. And in particular, policy and legal frameworks need to be adapted to the specific business model, including in specific areas such as state aid, public procurement, which is when we know that Denmark is quite a good example, actually, and also in the field of taxation, for instance. So the action plan will seek to mobilize relevant stakeholders around this objective, creating the right framework conditions. And this will include stakeholders at regional levels and also at international levels, even beyond the EU. Second, the action plan needs to open up opportunities through improved access to funding for social economy organizations, scaling up social innovations, and enhanced support for capacity building and skills. For instance, social entrepreneurship can be particularly attractive among young people or women entrepreneurs or other groups that are typically underrepresented in entrepreneurship. And raising awareness of these alternative business models could improve the appeal of entrepreneurship more generally, and it could also improve labor market integration. Another objective will be to promote a better understanding of the social economy among all relevant stakeholders, so including policymakers, financial intermediaries, social partners. And in connection to this, raising awareness and visibility of social economy, including through improved collection of appropriate data and information, will be key to the understanding, recognition and development of social economy. And I already referred to social innovation, but it's worth mentioning again that the aim of the action plan is to boost social innovation, because this is typically an area where maybe not all, but many social economy organizations and social enterprises, by their very nature, have a lot to offer. And up to now, in preparation of the action plan, working with social economy stakeholders has been essential in the process. We have not been putting the action plan together just among ourselves. We at the Commission, we had a consultation process from March to April, where we published a kind of a roadmap for the social economy action plan, and anybody, any organization or citizen in Europe and even beyond could respond to it. We received over 130 replies, and this helped us identify the areas where EU actions can deliver the most added value for the social economy. And we have also been making an effort since the 2011 Social Business Initiative to build an evidence base regarding the impact of these initiatives. The European Commission has been involved in several mappings of the social enterprise and social economy ecosystems, including one where there was all the different member states, the ecosystem was kind of mapped. There was a publication and then a synthesis report at the EU level. There has also been ongoing work in cooperation with OECD to better understand the situation and policy challenges in individual member states. And there was also a study undertaken on the impact of the social business initiative. It commenced in 2020, and they interviewed over 300 stakeholders across all the EU countries and beyond to understand the impact. So really hundreds of stakeholders have been interviewed and contacted in the context of the studies and the consultations up to now. So we are really at a point now where we are in the final stages of putting together the action plan, and as you can probably imagine, it's an incredibly transversal initiative. We have really had to mobilize all the different departments of the European Commission to work together, because social economy organizations are, of course, active in lots of fields, from banking to agriculture to social inclusion to healthcare to social care. And we have really involved almost all the Commission services in the preparatory work. But once the action plan is adopted next month, the target date is 8th of December. I can tell you this for the moment, not to set it in stone, but that's the target date. This adoption will only really mark the beginning of a new phase in the recognition and development of social economy. And we are hoping that with this action plan, we will send a clear signal to social economy organizations in all member states that their work is really important to the European Commission and the European Union in general, and we are actively supporting them. And we really want to mobilize also the public authorities and policymakers and stakeholders to create good enabling conditions for the social economy. So because social economy in itself, it's not we can take some actions at the EU level, but it's not something where we have we would have alone the competence. We can be, but I think we can be useful in a kind of giving the signal to stakeholders in the dialogue with public authorities at national or regional levels in improving the conditions. And this is not only a matter of communication. We have to, we can propose very interesting measures at the Commission, but if they're not well known, understood, or followed up, they will make little difference. So we are counting on support of stakeholders and public authorities in the member states, and the meeting with the right people on the ground to make our ideas a reality. So yeah, in this sense, we are also counting on your support. And after December, we can. I will be very happy to organize a follow-up meeting where we can concretely explain what the social economy action plan entails. So please stay tuned until December, and I hope to continue our contact and collaboration in the future.
Thank you very much, Miia. It was very nice of you to be here, and we would be happy to get back and make a follow-up on what is actually in the plan. I thought before you leave us, is there anything you can say about implementation on national levels?
Well, what I can say is that, of course, what comes to these framework conditions, this is very much indeed to be introduced at a national level. It's what we think is crucial is to have in place a good strategy for social economy, and this can be done at the local level, at the national or maybe regional level, to have the good strategy. And the European Commission is planning to support this. So we are planning to do some capacity building exercises, provide the opportunities for sharing of best practices and experience sharing to help the process. So we are here to facilitate and support and try to give good ideas, not necessarily our good ideas, but we could take your good ideas and share them with other member states and to promote this cross-fertilization of ideas across borders. And of course, with many of the EU funds that support social economy and social enterprises, European Social Fund, for instance, I mean, this, for instance, it's implemented at the member state level. So ultimately, the member states will play a huge role here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for inviting me. It was a pleasure. Okay. Bye. Bye-bye.